Hello and welcome to Soul Love with Kimness. I am Kim van de Sande, your host, and I'm super excited to share another episode of Soul Love with you, where we share inspirational and empowering stories from the heart. We talk about the beauty and the shadows as both are part of the ascension journey, to remind you that you are powerful, you are magical, and to have trust in what you feel to be true deep within. Enjoy this next episode of Soul Love. Welcome everyone to a next episode of Soul Love with Kimness. And I am super excited because today my beautiful dear friend and soul sister Anna Scofield is joining us. And we are going to talk more about stepping into our mission and what it means to really own your path and what it also means to sometimes sacrifice. But I first want to welcome you, beautiful Anna, for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kim. Oh my goodness, it's such an honor and blessing to be with you because I just love you.
I love you too. So it's like the first time Anna and I met in physical life, it was in Egypt, and it was truly magical. We just had this instant connection, like we have done this many lifetimes. And I think everyone has that with certain people. You just know, that you've met each other before, and it just feels like home. And that's what we also experienced. And yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we met again in Glastonbury, and that was beautiful as well. And it's But what I really love also about you is you are really also like me, driven to step into your mission, driven to step into the bigger purpose, why you are here, and honoring that path that you feel to be true is yours. And when we open this sacred space, I want to invite you, if you now look back at you a couple of years ago, what would you say to yourself in that moment? What would you advise yourself to do to feel, experience?
It's
maybe not to do. Yeah.
Right. It's, the way I had been pointed was a very kind of convenient path, right? So it's like a path that I maybe had conceptualized. It had been completely driven of what I thought I should be doing, right? And so much of our conditioning is about like what you think you should be doing, rather than really tuning into and awakening that voice from within you that is truly the nature of your heart, right? The frequency of source, of spirit that is really communicating with you through the heart portal that we all have access to. We often don't give the weight that it is really required because we have been conditioned to really listen to the voice of our mind rather than the heart. Right?
Yeah.
So looking at where I was and where I am now is like, gosh, I'm almost unrecognizable to myself.
Yeah.
And even after our Avalon mission that we've just come back from, it's like a new layer has opened up. Yeah. And I feel so anchored into my own sense of being, my own true nature. And it's such a blessing, isn't it? To just discover all these layers that we had cloaked ourselves, where we had trodden ourselves down unknowingly, kind of unaware. Yeah. But it's just bringing that level of awareness to just kind of release the layers of cloaking that are coming off in the time that they come off, right?
Most of the time, like the first steps are the most hard, because then you are breaking free from all these limiting beliefs and all these conditions where we are in since childhood, but also breaking free from sometimes the energies that just family patterns put on us and like society and communities. And so these first steps are most of the time the most difficult, to really choose what you feel to be true deep within yourself. And the more you do that, the more magical people you meet and the more you feel seen. But it is like that first step where you say, oh, I'm choosing to listen to my heart instead of my mind. That is the hardest part. And we've all been through that. It's like, but you feel also, for me, it's like living I have everything to conform the 3D life. I have everything, a beautiful family, income, a house, whatever. We can go on holidays, we can do everything. But it's like the deep fulfillment and the deep calling we each feel within to live a higher contribution, to be in connection with source and really allow ourselves to be this vessel to create a different world for ourselves and our loved ones and the world around. And that is inviting all of us to be brave. And you're doing that. It's beautiful to just witness how we all each time leap but also by feeling the support by each other to really, But I think also a beautiful message is the more you step into your light, the more soul family you meet. Because I think a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have recognized the essence that is between us. It is by me doing the inner work, by me coming back to who I am, that I could recognize it and that we can connect in a way that we do.
100%, 100%. Because like that first, I may have been a couple of years ago, same thing. If I had met you a few years ago, I think I would have still been so conditioned to be like, oh, well, now I need to know what her family is about. And,
Yes, all these things.
all of these like stories in your mind, instead of just like allowing that deep soul connection to just show itself.
Yeah.
And I could just look into your eyes and I could just know you.
Yes, it is.
I just know you. And it's like, we live on other parts of the world and it's like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No.
This connection transcends time and space. And
it is. Yes.
And it's so beautiful.
Yes.
So, just speaking to what you said about like just the vulnerability that requires, the courage it requires to begin to dismantle all of these conditioned belief systems. And I always think of it as this, like the image of Indiana Jones in the Holy Grail. I don't know if you've ever
is conforming our energy.
Like, he's standing at the edge of this cave.
Yeah.
And he's been told that there's an invisible bridge that will connect him, but you can't see it until you take the first step, and then the bridge appears.
Yes.
Right? It's like
it is.
Nothing could show you more profoundly like what it feels like to begin to take these steps. Because, for me, and we speak the language of like this sensory feeling, right? Like the felt sense within your body, and beginning to connect so much more deeply within that sense is really your guiding light, right? It's because when we begin to kind of disconnect from like the stories of the mind and what our eyes and the 3D world are really showing us, it's like something comes from within that really pulls us towards a path. And it's not always a logical path.
No.
Or a convenient path, right?
But it's very natural, and it's really soothing and nurturing on these deeper levels of ourselves. But it asks us to be very brave, because it's like we can't logically explain why certain things are happening. We can't connect the dots, but it's by each time, I know it's within myself, but each time leaping, more magic opens up. But it is by us choosing to stretch ourselves, by us choosing to feel. And in a way also taking a moment to be by yourself, because it's first a journey within. You need to connect deep within your roots, deep within your essence, connect to source and the universe and Mother Earth. And it's first, like we are so being conditioned to also look for the answers outside of ourselves. But the moment we start to look within, and the moment we honor our heart, our guidance, that is where the next steps open up. But it's by choosing that path. And I think the most of us are sometimes still in environments where we aren't being taught that, where there is not the example of taking these leaps of faith, of taking this different direction. And because it's sometimes hard, it's not always fun. It's always, it's also sometimes not being part of the tribe, sometimes not doing things that like, other people do, because you feel deep within that it's not your path. And that means being brave enough to be the pioneer, to stand on your own, to go for what you feel to be true. And but it is like, and we know it both, it's so rewarding, because it's like rewarding of all the parts of your beingness. It's not fulfilling only one area of your life, but it's just, and more magical things open up. It truly is when we co-create. It's like,
for me, it's just like feeling that sense of expansion.
It is,
right? So like in the conditioning, when we go into our mind, we often feel like that contraction, like this isn't my truth, right?
Yes.
But until we start to connect with like what those feelings are, and that just takes practice, right? So my number one encouragement for anyone is just to begin to find that stillness in whatever that looks like, right? Connecting with nature, sitting in meditation, just doing breathing exercises, whatever that looks like for you, because you can't hear the voice of the heart until you still the external voices, all the voices that are chattering at you from every direction, right?
But it can also be like just doing things that bring you joy and fun. because those are moments also. If you can't find a moment to be still, when you're doing fun things, you're also more receptive to your inner guidance, because you don't create resistance towards what you want. So it's like, yeah, it's beautiful. But I think also, and that's what I love also about our connection, but all the other beautiful soul family that I've met, we can support each other to become even better. But it invites us all to create and to see each other from this new template, because you hold magical keys and I hold magical keys. And I think that's the new earth. The new earth is like rising together, coming together, each in our own strength, using the superpowers that we have to elevate, but also to just funly create. Like now we are discovering the world of telepathy and connecting with each other without a phone or without, and but just the fun of it, and through the fun, magical things open up, instead of hard work and doing a course to learn that. No, because then you're again going in your mind and in force. It's like I think when we all come together from this fun, just exploring energy, like no pressure, just being together and see what comes. It's like, I think
there's nothing like it, is there? It's just like,
it's
amazing. Just the playfulness, because it's, I always feel like spirit communicates with us through joy, right? Like it's not, sometimes less, sometimes messaging needs to come through, but I do feel like the frequency of joy, aligned joy, not manic joy, like it's more just like aligned joy, just like that feeling of play and expansion and just like fun, that those experiences, they are the language of the heart, right? So and in my training, I'm so linked to Chinese medicine that joy is the emotion of the heart, right? So it is how the heart expresses to you. It's just this feeling of what is bringing me joy, what is bringing me alignment, what is bringing me expansion. And it's not coming from like the experience itself. It's about your embodied sensation of it, right? So it comes from within you, and it's just you're connecting, and it's all of these things. This path can feel so lonely. It feels like, because like what you were touching in on is, it does often require that we have to let go of relationships and old friendships or old ways of being that aren't serving us, that aren't feeding our expansion and feeding our path, because they're really they're just, for lack of a better term, they were a stepping stone, right? They were something that we needed to go through before we could find the next step before us, right?
It is.
And so it's about the trust that requires, and the bravery. And it's not that, it's nothing from spirit is also born of judgment, right? So there is no judgment attached to releasing these old ways of being. It's just like, they served us when they served us, and now we can let them go.
But it's also about really living in the now moment, and just also in the connections and in the beautiful people you meet. You walk together for a certain time, and sometimes it's a week, and sometimes it's months, and sometimes it's years, but to just trust and to then let go. It's like we've so been conditioned, when something is good, I hold on to it with everything I have, and I keep squeezing it until it's not even fun anymore, but I keep holding on because it was fun one moment. It's letting go, it's dancing with life. But that's also sometimes hurts, but also to be okay with that it hurts for a moment, and that you then let go, because when you let go, something more beautiful can come on your path. And each time you raise your vibration, new people come on your path, new opportunities, but it is by you choosing to let go of the old. So constantly, each and every moment, tune in, what is in my highest and best good? What can I release, and what can I raise, and what can I... But that's inviting you to let go of all the control, all of the things of this is how my life should be, but also the path, like where like before we were so taught to make a 5-year plan. If you're on this journey, you can make a 5-year plan, but you also need to let it go. Like, because also what I've noticed, and what you also noticed, when you really allow yourself to co-create with source, life is even more magical than you could ever hope. So you can make your 5-year plan, but if you really trust and align, it's gonna be way more magical, way more abundant, way more joyful, because with all we create, it is, because with all we create, it's created from these old templates. It is created from what we already experienced, but we are here to create something new, to create something, magical. And then I love the word magic. Somehow the word magic.
I love the magic. Magic is a good word for us.
Yes, and it just raises your vibration. Yeah.
It does. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah, the old templates are, in many ways, they're conditioned sets of beliefs. And so it's like when we create from the known, right? We're creating from the known templates. We are cutting ourselves off at the knees quite a bit, because it doesn't allow for stepping into the mystery. It doesn't allow for this expansive sense of what if, or what could be, because it's really from the mystery that I think all of the ascension that's happening as a human race, we are evolving at an unprecedented rate right now. That is really what the nature of ascension is, is we're evolving to hold these higher and higher frequencies. And it's like the physical sensation has to catch up, right? The physical template has to catch up. And that's the last thing to get on board. So when creating from that known template, we're creating from those old physical templates. We're not creating from
something new,
higher dimensional aspects, right?
It is.
So it's so beautiful to just
step
into the void, right? To step into the mystery and just to untether yourself from the expectation of what could be, right?
It is.
And that's, for me, if there's one frequency that is my core desire to hold, it's freedom. And it's like, because the sense of freedom is complete unattachment from all the programs, all those old ways of being, and know that they served me, and then really sitting in the mystery of what is possible, right?
It is. I think for everyone, that's the ultimate. When you go, also within my book, I share what's the essence of your deep desire, and constantly go a spiral deeper. But I think most of the people, most of the souls who do that will come back to freedom. And that means financial freedom, time freedom, everything. But then you're allowed to just live in each and every moment and just experience life as it comes to you, to follow your joy, to follow your excitement. And because that's also, I think, the journey of ascension, the journey of awakening to a higher vibration and to a better version of yourself and the collective. It starts with also allowing yourself to have fun. Because it's like when you follow your fun, that was what for me was important. Like also like creating my business and where I am today, awakening my gifts and talents. It was through me following my fun. A couple of years ago back, I wouldn't have known what my gifts and talents were, but I just followed my fun. Because in the end, the thing that we come here to bring is what brings us joy, is what brings us fulfillment. It's like, well,
ease, right?
Yes, it is.
A sense of ease rather than efforting, right?
It is. It just goes naturally. It's like, so it's not like learning more, doing more. No, it's coming back to the essence of you, and just in the playful energy of being, but also in the releasing of what doesn't serve you. So it's a beautiful journey. But I love how you combine like the energy work, but also with physical, like also with your acupuncture, and how you combine all these different, because I think we're a combination of all. We're not only our energy body or our spiritual body, or we also have a beautiful physical body, and that needs to catch up, and that needs to have its own time to integrate all the magical things that we constantly are inviting to embody and to embrace in our lives.
Right.
So would you have an advice to the listener, like
So, it's really interesting because my work as an acupuncturist has evolved so much over the 12, 15 years I've been practicing. And now I can see that have a new layer of understanding of really how we begin to embody the frequencies that come from within. So it's like we have our emotional and physical body are kind of in the same field. Oh, I'm getting someone's at the front door.
Always good.
No, that's okay.
You just had fireworks and now someone at the front door. Some energies are trying to say something to us.
So I lost my train of thought. Hang on.
Yes, it is.
Right. So it's really about alchemizing, right? So
Yeah.
it's about allowing these higher frequencies to distill into the body. And that's the image I was given in a vision a few years ago. And it really helped shift my understanding about how all of this works, right? Is because it really is about for me, it's the third chakra, right? So it's the wisdom of the heart. So cosmic energy comes in through the seventh chakra, eighth chakra, if we want to go up there, and kind of distills down. And it's really at this place of the third chakra where we have this decision point. We have this free will. We have this layer of, this is where I exercise my choice point of if I choose to embody these frequencies that are coming in through my heart, or if I choose to go the known path, right?
Yeah.
Like stay with, and that's why I think we see so much first and second chakra, this sense of worthiness and the sense of safety, that there's so much imbalance in that on our planet.
It is. Yeah.
And it really, for me, it's about that third chakra pivot where things really begin to embody, right? So it's like, it just becomes more and more actualized in our physical presence when we allow it, when we make that choice point to say, yes, I will allow these frequencies to come in, right? Because it means living a totally different life, right?
It is. Yes. But it's also not judging yourself if you're not ready for that yet, because that's also true. Trust that when you are fully ready to step into this new, you will feel this urge within yourself. And if you don't feel that yet, that's fine. Maybe there's something you still need to learn from living these old paradigms. And it's also trusting that our timing is aligned and that the life you are living right now is the life you're meant to live. And it's like, the moment you need to shift, you will get this urge. And it's like, so it's really honoring yourself, and I think also embracing the love for all you experience, embracing the love for all you are, and just not forcing yourself in fun and feeling safe.
Never born of judgment, right?
No,
it's
it
never
is.
born of judgment, because it's ultimately about the frequency of, can we love and have compassion for ourselves in our experience?
Yes.
And that if we can't do those things, then we can't embody the frequency.
No.
And it doesn't happen. So it's like all these different facets of our life, right? Our relationships, our time, money, freedom, our, it's like the work we're doing in the world. All of these different facets of our life come online in different timing.
It is.
And so it's about surrendering to you might have so much expansion in one area of your life. And it's about finding that balance, that harmony in the collective frequency, right? So that you begin to have a different experience universally rather than just in one spot.
It is.
Because then it's like, that can't hold, this frequency can't hold.
No.
We talked about that so much on our trip. It's like, this frequency can't hold until I bring this back into right relationship, right?
But it needs to be an up leveling of all. Also in my book, but in my programs, I share that like it's an up leveling of your whole template. All the different areas of your life, of your beingness, need to rise, need to go into the next level. Otherwise, it's like creating something on not a solid foundation, and then it's also again creating from lack and from separation. So it's really inviting all of you to, but also to embrace. So I would say, if you feel the urge to rise up, it will come. Trust your joy, trust your excitement. And sometimes also just embrace yourself if you feel like, I'm feeling comfortable in where I am right now. And that is fine as well. It's like honoring our journey and not being so hard on ourselves, or not comparing our journey with ourselves, because that's also with me. I have such magical soul family and they all have magical tools. And then I can try to compare myself to them, but I am here to bring something unique, and Anna's here to bring something unique. And the new template, even though sometimes our humanness comes in play, it invites us to really see, like, how can we co-create together? How can we come together, each from our strength, to elevate the whole? And I think these are whole new templates. So it's like, stop seeing the world outside of yourself and look within. What is your magic that you hold? What you came here to bring? What is your uniqueness? What is your, and that invites you to, it is. So it's such a beautiful, beautiful journey, but it's
a beautiful journey. And we're just part of this great interweaving, right? It's just, unity consciousness is really about the acknowledgement that we are all just a thread in this amazing tapestry. And it's like, my thread can't look exactly like Kim's. And so when we really release ourselves from that paradigm, then it's like, oh my God, I can just be my beautiful golden thread rather than trying to be Kim's golden beautiful thread. You know?
But and there's the potency when we all stand in our light. It's like boom, we're here radiating our light. And that's just magical when we can do that, when we can really center within ourselves. And yeah, but it's also, I think, the beautiful thing, and then we'll almost come to a place of completion. But I think the beautiful thing is also just honoring yourself, honoring your light, but also seeing the contribution you have in this web of consciousness that is there. Because only one person rising up, choosing to step up, can already change so much in the collective field. And I think that's also a paradigm shift we all can make. Like when you choose to step out of separation into unity, into love, you are such a huge contribution. Things shift into the collective because everything is connected, everything is woven together. And it's like, so honor yourself and love yourself. It already starts by you not judging yourself, because when you are in the field of judgment, that is what you put into the collective field. But when you are choosing to step into the field of love, then you are infusing the collective field with love, raising the vibration, not only of yourself, but also of the world. So
right. Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes that looks like, sometimes, just so, just to give complete honesty, sometimes that looks like knowing what you don't want, and knowing what you don't need, and knowing what you, things that aren't working, because the acknowledgement is really, it's moving those things from your unconscious awareness into your conscious mind. And so that is in itself this huge leap. It's really a quantum leap, because it takes things out of the shadow, and you've already brought your brilliance, you've already brought your light into that place. It's like shining this torch on, wow, this is not working in my life. And so then can we only from that place can we begin to course correct, right? To begin to follow the wisdom of the heart rather than the mind. So
it starts with awareness, and then feeling the boundaries and feeling like now it's enough to, but also like boundaries are loving, because the more you step into your light, the more you can be of contribution to the others. So I think there is a whole new episode coming, and we'll share more magic together.
We can talk and talk.
There's so much more to share, and it will just unfold. Also this podcast, it's like, it's created from impulse, and it's just sharing, and it will
evolve. Created from our dining room table.
It is. yes. But those are the most amazing things. And then it's also within me. Okay, I get the inspiration, and then it's just leaping, because the most of the time what we do is we receive information, we receive downloads, and then we start to judge it and say, oh no, I'm not doing this. No, it's just leaping, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, but it's just following the source expression you feel, and then bringing it out into the world, and trust that it will inspire someone who listens to this beautiful conversation and us sharing a beautiful light. So I want to thank you, beautiful, sweet soul sister Anna, for sharing.
You're so beautiful.
Well, it's so amazing to do this, and we're going to do this much, much more. And also I want to thank you, the listener. And if you want to know more about Anna, I'll share the link below, and you can find her and her magic. And for now, I would just say much love, and I'll see you in the next episode. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining this episode of Soul Love. If you want to find out more about what we do, you can find it below. And I'll see you in the next episode. Much love.